Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Happier than a pig in mud, you showed back up. If you haven't seen the last video of us putting the body on the frame initially, go back and watch that one first. That'll catch you up where we're at today. We're gonna be permanently reuniting this frame with the body using our new body mount kit. We gotta do some work before we're ready to put that in. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna bring you along for the ride. Welcome to this episode in the garage. Alright, so I've got you under the car, looking up towards the ceiling. And as you can see, we're close to being lined up, but not quite. The car's got to come over to the captain's side a little bit. And the same over here on this side. I'm not super worried about this one lining up yet, because if you'll remember in a past video, this is the floor brace that I replaced and just barely tacked it in there. That way if I have to move it, then it looks like I will have to move it, then it'll be easy to cut loose and do that. Right now, the only ones that I'm focused on are the main body mounts that I know cannot move. So I replaced some floor braces and stuff like that, and I'm not going to really put my focus on those yet. I'll get these good and lined up and then go back and revisit the floor braces that I replaced and make any adjustments that need to be made then. All right, I've got a ratchet strap hooked over here to the body, put the frame over here. We're gonna see if we can get this body to come this way about 3/4 of an inch or so. Something about like that. All right, I got you back up under here. We'll take a look at how close we are. A little bit more. Want to try to get it dead center if we can. All right, let's see what we got. If it'll focus. All right, so we are slightly to the passenger side a little bit. Let's go look at this side. Let me get you flat so you're not weird looking. All right. So this is a little bit over to the drinker's side. So that might be about left to right as close as we can get it. So let's go back and look at these. All right. So that the body needs to come back a little bit. Let's see what this one tells us. Yes. All right. This side, the passenger side, needs to come back a little bit. What does this one say? Yeah. It needs to come back a tad. Does that say the same thing? It do. All right, so we're pretty close side to side. The body needs to come to, the back of the body needs to come slightly to the driver's side and slightly back. So we'll get to work on that. All right, I've got the body jacked up a little bit. While I've got it up, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out. That's where we lifted the body with the cherry picker. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this bushing in here, and maybe that one, not really 100% certain. Alright, I'll take a gander at the one down here at the footboard, then might go ahead and put that one in place. All right, so I've got the body pretty close to where it's gonna go for now. I'm not gonna film the rest of this. My neighbor out here's just started mowing, and the other one's gonna mow right after him, and then you're gonna have another one mow right after him. So the longer I wait, the louder it gets and the hotter it gets. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this put together, set down all the bushings in it, and then we'll bring you back after that's done, and we'll talk about what a job. Got all the bushings and everything in. I'll just tell you right now, I wasn't about to try to film all that. It took me probably about 5 hours, I guess, to get all those bushings on there. So it is permanently mounted now, although there is a chance, depending on how the doors fit, that we might have to see all those shims in there. Might have to use those. The deal is, so when you go put the car or the door on the car, specifically the two rear doors, your body mounts is what dictates your gap between your quarter panel and the door. So if the quarter panel is, if the gap is too wide, then you would shim under this body mount right here. You would shim under there to lift the quarter panel up and close that gap. And just the opposite, if it's too narrow, then you would come up under your body mount here and your body mount under here and shim those up, and that will leave the quarter panel down low while shimming the center of the car up, and that will open that gap a little bit. So everything's tight, but like I said, might have to go back and do a little moving around and adjusting. So now we gonna get started on putting the rear shocks on this thing. Got our shocks and everything mounted, and about as far as we can go on that. We'll go ahead and start on this hood and see if we can get this thing straightened back out. Boy, that's a sad deal. Not a dent, single one in this hood. Dang it. Oh well. Oh well. It don't look anywhere near as bad as what it actually is. But basically what happened is it landed about as flat as it could possibly land and just hit right here really hard, and just sort of, this part of the metal just sort of rolled it in and knocked that dent up, and part of it is behind this brace. So anyway, I'll get you set up and see if we can get this thing knocked out. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, but I'll get you set up. We'll get to knocking. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the part of the dent that is up under this brace. It did not dent in far enough to hit the brace. Yeah, it did. All right, so I've got to tell you what I might do. I might be able to hit that brace because it did knock it up. If you'll look at the brace on this side, it comes in contact with the skin, and this is not. So it hit hard enough, and you can actually see, I don't know if you can see the reflection in the metal, but there is a small crease right there. So we'll knock the stew out of that and see if we can knock this metal back out. I don't want to beat the crap out of the metal because I don't want to dent it really bad. So what I'll do, I'll see if I can find me something to protect that metal, and then we'll go to work. That'll work. That actually worked. Get one more right there. I'll be dang. That actually worked. Huh. Oh well. Cool. All right. Let's get our dolly. Let's see if we can knock some of this out. Need a different hammer. Now, this has got a, well, let's see if you can see. I'm going to get you a shot. You can see where the hood is not damaged. This has got a concave. The body, the shape of the body rolls up out here to the edge, and it does that all the way around the front. So we got to keep that in mind to try to keep that body shape in there. We don't want to just start pounding out this way and beat that shape out of it. So we'll keep that in mind. Let me get a different dolly. I'm going to use this one. It's got that shape in it. And we'll see if we can keep that body line. Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing this along that shape. Is what I'm doing to try to keep that in there. Got a high spot, right? Is that a high spot or is that just primer coming off? That is a high spot. All right. We go back from this side. All right, what we'll do, I can't tell whether that's a high spot or just primer coming off. So what we'll do is we'll flip the hood upside down, or actually right side up, and look at it from the front and start taking the primer off and see what the metal looks like up under it. All right, as you can see, we kept our concave body line in there pretty good all the way up. A little bitty low spot right there. I might tap that out. Yeah, I can get to that. But more importantly, and the most important part, is we got this body line pushed back out this way. That's what caused that dent. When the hood hit the floor right here, that's what caused that dent, is it pushed the edge of the panel that way and just dented all of that in. So that's the most important part, is we were able to get that body line back good and straight. And we did most of that from the other side, knocking that dent back out. When you push that metal back out to its original position, it forces this to go back out. And you just hope it goes back out to its original position. That's the thing about metal work, is the metal wants to go back to where it was to start with. Just sometimes you have to use a hammer to talk it into it. Oh, but anyway, that is gonna do it for this part of the video. I've got to go in and get ready to go to work. As you can see, it is dark 30, and that's when I work. So, not really for sure exactly what is next, but whatever it is, I'm gonna bring you along for it. It's been so long since I've videoed, I forgot where the videos have left off, but I'll tell you where we're at right now. So we've got the back door on the driver's side on, but it is not adjusted. So if y'all will remember, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, me and my buddy Wayne were out here putting the doors on and they absolutely would not adjust correctly. So we had the bright idea to cut this little section right here and adjust this pole to get what we wanted. And one of my subscribers was like, don't do that. So now I'm going back and fixing what we messed up, which sucks, but it's all part of it. I did not think the car would move around as much as it moves around, even though it is a hardtop and not a post. I still didn't think there would be that much movement, but there is certainly that much movement. And so now I have got my, what you call it on here, and I've got this pulled farther that way than really it needs to be. If you look right here, it really doesn't need to be that far, but I'm expecting some rebound. So I'm gonna weld it right there, and then I'll deal with the consequences later. So I'll get you set up and we'll get to welding. see just how bad this is. What we got? Well, I would tell you that ain't half bad. That ain't half bad. Right, of course, you know, I'm not worried about that because we'll set our latch here. So, one place I was looking at, I got a funky, just weird place right here that sticks out a lot from the door. And if I feel right here, it's got a definite change in direction. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slap that sucker that way. We'll just see what happens. Be the best way. It's better this way, but it still ain't better that way. Every time I hit it this way, that right there wants to pop out. Might be a problem for another time. All right, as you can clearly see, our gap down here is different than our gap up here. So I figured that might happen. I was hoping it wouldn't, but it did. So what we're gonna do is this right chair. We're gonna take yon bolt out right there, and we're gonna jack that corner panel up, and we're gonna put a shim in between the body and that bushing, and therefore, thereby and henceforth, lifting up yon quarter panel and closing that there gap. So let me get set up. That's what I'm finna do right now. All right, now I want y'all to look right there and tell me when to stop. You're gonna have to holler because I hard hearing, so. What about now? Woo. They're looking pretty good. We're gonna go a little farther, that way when I center down, maybe the gap will be pretty close to accurate. All right, that'll work. All right, so I got 3 shims. You can see them up in there. So we're gonna let the tension back off this thing, let it set down, see where we're at before we do any tightening. Might have to add another shim, might have to take one out, don't know. All right, let's let this thing down and we'll see what it does. What do you think? I'm thinking it needs at least one more shim. All right, yeah. That looking a whole lot better right there. Ended up with 5 shims under the quarter panel to get that to line up. Whew, man, it is late today. I'm hot, and I believe I'm gonna call it a day. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification. That way you'll be notified every time I release new content. I haven't released any in quite a while. Well, they're working me like a dog, But we're back out here, and we're gonna see if we can keep this thing moving. Leave your comments. Y'all go do some work.